Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Into the Red Rabbit Hole. I'm Nighthawk, your host, and we are going to discuss quite a few things tonight. I'm going to go ahead and do the disclaimer, and I might even bring some people in here from the chat. So, pardon my voice, I've been kind of out of it all day. Copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use Act. Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content, including the music, to be used for the sole purposes of informing you, the viewing family, of information for educational purposes, criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge only, and let's not forget the entertainment value per Title 17, Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. Okay, let me get that off of there. I'm going to say hello to a few people and in the chat, and we'll go from there. Hello, Roxanne and Corey. Good to see you both here. Anybody else out there? Man, my voice is definitely not great. Well, we're going to start the topics off tonight. There's a couple of them I want to go over. There's one that's been bugging me a lot lately because I've researched it pretty well in depth too. And I came up with these numbers. Now, what about all the victims' bodies from 9/11 in New York City? They said there was almost 2,800 victims. Okay, there was 2,749 victims. Okay, from that tragic day. Only 300 whole bodies were found. Okay, 2,000 or 20,000 body parts. Okay, 6,000 of them no bigger than 5 inches. Okay, 200 pieces to one person. Only identified 1,630 people, 800 DNA only. Now those numbers should frighten everybody, actually. They really should. Lest we forget, we have to learn from the past too, just as much as it repeats itself. 9/11 was a tragic, tragic day in history. And to this day, there's Good Morning Starflower. To this day, I really, I don't think it was foreign terrorists, to tell you the truth. My theory is, and I knew some people that worked the Pentagon cleanup, and they were telling me that they didn't find airplane parts. What they found were guided missiles. Um, I mean, they did. They do anything to the those are the closing numbers that they have from the whole investigation that they did um, for body recovery there in 9/11 in New York City. And to me, it shouldn't be a closed thing. They should probably open it back up and do a complete memorial the way that it should be to the unknowns that are tragically buried in that location. Um, that'll probably never be found. So after that, there's a couple camera pictures I want to go over, but we're going to talk about the devil in America too. Okay. Um, I don't know if very many people know that it says in the Bible where Satan lives when he's on earth. Okay. Would you believe that Satan lives in Geneva? Yeah, Geneva. Geneva, Switzerland. Ironically, that's where the CERN Hadron Collider is. And that's where they opened the portal to hell. So I wonder why Satan actually lives in Geneva, Switzerland. You know, I was just putting that out there. I sent out a lot of information this past week. A lot late last night. Um, about how spells are being cast on the human populace every time we turn around. Every concert it is has some kind of a magic connection to it, to ceremony. Okay. Now you look at this crowd of people here. This was taken from a AC/DC concert. Okay. And these people are giving the double, sign for the devil, holding it up in the air. Um, totally disgusting. Okay, some of them are wearing like horns, and here's one young man that's on his, I guess, his father's or brother's shoulders at the same concert. Look at the look on his face, wearing the horns of Satan. It's amazing. People don't even realize that they're being spell casted upon on certain movies, certain live theater, certainly live concerts, and pre-recorded concerts. We've all seen the video of several pop stars, to say the least. So I just thought that was interesting too. They do so much to put the blinders on everybody. Okay, and they do so much to hide things, like the whole Denver International Airport thing. Okay, 1995, I believe it was, when they started to build that airport, and they had adequate airport already. They didn't need to build it. But the locals there in the area, and the state Masonic Lodge, the state recognized Masonic Lodge, um, did a ceremony like they always do for blessing the cornerstone and all that. And they added a few little things inside the thing. And to this day, everybody thinks it's a big conspiracy that the Masons are hiding something underneath the Denver International Airport. And I can tell you, to my knowledge, no. If there's anything under the Denver International Airport, it is military related. Okay. You guys have no idea. Dave and Melissa might, and a few other veterans out there. Um, the military industrial complex is such a big, complicated machine. And it is a machine. It is something that only a certain sect of people, certain names of families, are the ones benefiting from any type of war. And to tell you the truth, nobody should benefit from war. Those of us that have been through it know damn well that you can't go back. You can't go back ever again. You know, um, Hearing gunshots, even around here, even when it comes to hunting season around here, and I hear the gunshots, I still react certain ways. It'll definitely startle me and catch me off guard because of the PTSD, but that goes without saying. Um, there's so much going on that they try to control. The Denver International Airport started its construction in 1995. I think it was September of 95. And they worked right through winter, got the airport put together in under 3 years. The airport is adorned with a fascination of gargoyles. Okay. Now, this one in particular, I kind of wanted to show because that sure looks like Baphomet to me, with the horns, the wings, the facial structure. To me, that could be Baphomet. Um, they have these gargoyles all over the place, popping up out of how they have like luggage there in the sculptured item, and then they have the gargoyle popping out of the luggage, almost like gremlins in the works. Then you got stuff on the outside. I don't know if many people know that the blue horse statue that was sanctioned to be done by a local artist there in Denver. Um, Actually, he didn't even get a chance to complete the project. Um, as soon as he got it put together, it apparently decided to fall on him, and it basically crushed him to death. Okay, the artist. So from that day forth, they called this horse blucifer. Its eyes glow a fiery red at night, just like this picture. Okay. It's the aggressive, protective, defensive stance of a horse or a counter strike stance that a horse has. Anybody that's dealt with stallions knows that when a horse does that, you stay away from it. Otherwise, you're going to get knocked out. All right. So, and then on the inside, we have the famous murals. Okay, the one with the children and the war, and the guy with the machine gun and the gas mask, and the whole 9 yards. I don't know what it was with artists back then in Denver in 1995 to 96, but they sure do seem like they thought a lot of morbid stuff. I'm just curious to see what everybody in the chat thinks about the Denver International Airport. Now, I have flown through there. I haven't actually gone there to investigate it firsthand, but I have done research on it. There is an extensive underground tunneling system that far reaches out into the outer areas of the airport, to where some people have said that they've seen lizard reptilian beings coming in and out of one of the access points out in the middle of the grounds out in the runway area, at night. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know that those of you that follow the conspiracy of the reptilian race know very well that the reptilian race is definitely here. Okay, it's definitely something to actually have to. Well, how do I want to say? I want to choose my words very delicately. Um, it's something to watch out for, because everybody thinks that conspiracy theorists are nuts and all that. We all know that, okay? But you know, Eric and I and Dennis have all three of us have connected the dots numerous times. to the red-haired giants, to the bloodline of the royal family with their red hair, and and now the portrait of King Charles that came out with Baphomet in it, and fiery red blood flames. It's just too many pieces are fitting together. It's almost like it's preordained to end up like this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring Eric on, and we're gonna talk about it and just see what everybody thinks about the Denver International Airport. And then I'd like to take it even further and go, what do you all think is the reason that our world is the way it is? Do we live under a dome, a firmament dome? Is the world not necessarily flat, but know what I mean? Not a globe. Did we come from another planet like Mars, like they say we had? Um, are we the actual aliens that are here in the distant past and wiped out everything else around us? There's so many questions to so many questions to have so few answers. And this is just something I wanted to do tonight to kind of just crack the nut open a little bit and take a look at what comes out. So I'm interested to see what everybody thinks about the subjects. Hey, Eric, how are you doing? Can't hear you.
I guess it'll if I turn this thing on. Yeah, sorry, I was
How
watching
are
the
you doing,
storms,
brother?
lost track of time. Not bad. I
That's
like
all
watching
right.
the lightning in the sky when it's storming, and I was out on the front porch and got the alarm. Freaky, it was me. I was doing something on my phone, accidentally switched accounts. I had to switch back. But no, it's storming out here, so I like watching that stuff. But yeah, that Denver airport, man, it's a real interesting doodad right there. As far as Illuminati was going, like Jessica commented earlier, I don't know so much about that, but the Kabbalistic side of it, definitely. There's a lot of ties to Kabbalah into a lot of that when dealing with the um, Denver airport. A lot of messages in them artworks. A lot of deaths tied to building that place, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. A whole lot of deaths tied to building that place. A lot of injuries, too. If memory serves me correctly, there was a lot of paranormal and supernatural activity that took place during the building of that place as well. And I don't remember if it has something to do
Well,
with
there were
the Native
several
American.
accidents that workers had.
Yeah,
Yeah, there were several
go
accidents. I
ahead. Sir.
remember there was like 7 people that were killed, including the artist for the blucifer statue. But there was a total of 7, which is ironic because 7. Now I don't know. I'm not a numerologist, um,
Hmm.
but I play one on TV. No, I'm just joking. You know, the number 7 is definitely a sacred number.
Hmm.
It's you think of it as like the 7 horns of enlightenment on a Statue of Liberty. The 7 um, heads on the beast. You know, yeah, 7 has a very very sacred spot as far as being a number goes. Okay. Um,
Yep.
hey, Jessica and Kathleen, Candy, good to see you. Dawn, good to see you. Freaky Geek, good to see you. Well, I mean, technically, I can't see you, but I know you're there.
Heck yeah.
Anyways, I don't know. I just thought that maybe maybe we could talk about that for a little bit tonight and then see where it goes from there. I'm still putting together the video on my thing on the immortals. I think that subject is something that needs to be brought up because either certain families always seem to be in power, okay, throughout
Yep.
history, certain bloodlines. And,
Yep.
I'm starting to see with a lot of the research that I do that there's a lot of deaths and reforming of certain individuals that supposedly die only to come back after this generation is gone, our generation is gone, because nobody will really remember them. And they'll pop right back
Mhm.
up doing something else in the entertainment industry or the movie industry, or working with NASA or CERN, or, or in politics. And I always come back to that reptilian agenda, and it all points back to that. Um, Now, the everybody knew about the woman that came out and said that the royal family in England and UK was having these private closed things on their estate and hunting children and all that and killing them, um, which apparently they did an investigation on it and it turned out to be false under their investigation. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm not saying their
Yeah.
investigation proves that it didn't happen because, you can't really, I mean, that's like asking, Biden to investigate himself. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned. So, or anybody else. Um, I don't know. There's just too many things that add up to the reptilian agenda. And then I thought about the Denver airport and the connection there too. It was proven that there are air shafts farther out, past the runways, and the runways, ironically, are shaped like a swastika. So,
Yep.
yes, the swastika wasn't always part of the Nazi thing. It was actually part of I think, a Hindu or a Buddhist thing that helped people that were the monks gather enlightenment. At least that's what it meant, is enlightenment. Um, so I'm not really too keen on that being the symbol for Nazis because they stole it from a very peaceful religion. So to basically ruin it. But I don't know. I mean, what have you heard about the Denver International Airport, Eric?
Well, I know it's built on sacred Native American land. So does that have a lot to do with paranormal supernatural activity there? Absolutely. I mean, in the fact that there's plenty of evidence of underground stuff down there, even though they deny it every time they turn around. There's no such thing. That's just maintenance tunnels, blah, blah, blah. Bull crap. There's been enough videos of whistleblowers coming out with the stuff that's under there. Uh, there is something else underground that's going on. I mean, just like you're in my neck of the woods, you got the Springfield undergrounds. There's a lot of military activity and other stuff goes on. In fact, there's a
Yeah,
whole setup for the government to take place. If something ever happens, they come down here. There's literally a whole section set up for the government to come here and take
right.
shelter. So I mean, there's definitely a
Yeah,
lot going on.
yeah,
As far as the swastika, I mean, heck, that was a symbol of peace.
yeah,
But at the same time, look where the Nazis went after World
yeah,
War II. They went to Ukraine, Argentina, and they went to California. California, yeah, I mean, so it wouldn't be far fetched for them to move something over into Colorado. I mean, we know they're spreading like wildfire. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff, man. It's
yeah,
the Denver
yeah,
airport is something you really got to dig deep in. There's a lot of stuff.
yeah,
The
yeah.
airport,
There is. I mean, for what I've done on it so far, it just seems like it's the perfect place place
Mm-hmm.
to I guess the only way to say it is to say it. It's like ripping off a band-aid. Um, Human trafficking.
Yep.
It would be the ideal location for that. You know, and we all know that human trafficking is a big problem. Organ harvesting is a big problem, and that's been connected to a lot of these satanic cults. The organ harvesting. So when they actually do a sacrifice, they actually remove the organs that they can sell, and make money at. So to fund their satanic life, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
you know, you just have a lot of different things that are connected that nobody would consider connecting them before until it was brought out in the open. Um, the strange things that they see in the sky, some of them are holograms. Well, why couldn't the Black Knight satellite be a holographic projector? Why do we have to label
Mm-hmm.
it as an alien ship? Why couldn't it be just an automatic projector, a 3D projector that can put something in the sky to make it look like it's real? You know?
Yep.
So I mean, there's so
Kind of
many
like a
things that are just they're stragglers to a theory. Okay. And I'm trying to bring those straggling points in and tie them in
yeah.
a knot and say, you know what, they're all part of the same conspiracy.
Yeah, I mean it's true. I'm reading Candy Wolf's comments right here, and I find that kind of interesting because she's not the only one I've heard the exact same story from. They are hired to build onto it, and they were told, "Do not go past these areas. We're not responsible. Whatever happens to you, you're assigned to this area, and this is the only area you're allowed to go."
Mm,
Um, So that's why I'm
exactly.
finding her comic kind of interesting because I've actually seen tons and tons of reports of that going on. Um, don't go past anywhere near those areas. I mean, that's yeah. Denver International Airport. I quit working there after a week because you could feel it all around you. Yeah, and that's the thing. Candy, I've actually heard that a lot too of people feeling the negative energy in the air. Human traffic, folks. Let me tell you something. It don't matter if you believe this or not. I'm going to tell you that just the bold faced truth. Human trafficking, especially kids, is very, very rampant. I spent a good part of my career hunting people who do that kind of stuff. It is very, very real. Sadly, probably 45 minutes from where I live, roughly 30 miles, is to the major highways that they're traveled up and down on all the time. Around roughly 9 miles from me is one of the main highways. But there's a place called Springfield, Missouri, it's Grand Central Station for this trafficking because I 44 and 65 cross right there. So I mean, this stuff goes on throughout the world. If you guys seen half the crap that I've seen, you'd be surprised who all that you like or you do business with that deals with human trafficking on a daily basis. And there's reasons why I don't go to them stores. There's reasons why I don't deal with them people is because of what I've seen during my time. It's very rampant. Take you was talking earlier about the royal family and the scandal was going there. I mean, look how many videos there is of naked kids trying to climb out windows from makeshift ropes
Hmm.
from bed sheets.
Yeah.
That stuff is, I mean, it's out there. They took the videos down. It's hard to find the videos now, but it was all there. You know, saw a show a long time ago showed some Nazis
Yeah. Well, when
were in found the rail cars and chains from coffins, people in the inside of them. Oh wow, Don, that's kind of cool. Kind of scary, but kind of cool at the same time. I mean, that's hmm, definitely want to hear more on that sometime. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff tied to it, and we all know that the royal family is not the true royal family. That's the people, the Nazis that was put in charge so they could take control of Europe. So, what is Europe controlled now? There's a reason why there's yellow fringe around the American flag. We're a lost naval commodity. We actually a lost naval commodity. It belongs to Britain. Who controls Britain? The so-called royal family. So I mean, you guys sit there and put things together, you'll see it with your own eyes. Yeah, that'd be if you ever remember that, Don. Send me a message. I want to see that.
Don says he says I saw a show a long time ago that showed some Nazis were in West U.S. on the rail cars with chains. Oh yeah, yeah, Don. That was
Yeah.
actually in Glacier National Park. That was actually Glacier National Park. Um, I know what you're talking about. The chains in the rail cars were for the human trafficking, and they were either human trafficking them to turn the humans over to alien races for their experimentations. They've also been
Mhm.
linked with cloning, with the railroad cars with the chains in them, so that the clones couldn't get away. There's also been spotted back in deep in the back of the Glacier National Park. There was supposed to be a small town that is hidden where all the clones of people go and they're taught how to act. Okay, how to act in front of each other and to each other. They're taught the
Mhm.
basics of humanity. Um, so I don't know. Is the cloning that they're doing in such a way that they're just cloning the people to turn them over to the alien races, like in Dulce, New Mexico, um, in that
Mhm.
dumb facility, or are they using the cloning method to enhance the lit life expectations for certain families?
Mhm.
So, I mean, it could be either or,
We,
Um,
yeah, that's kind of an interesting deal there, William. Michael, you're pushing my chair around, bud. Come on, sorry. Um, we know that a certain individual that when he talks on the boob tube, when it is a clone, it starts to malfunction. That's because cloning is not perfect yet, and they have the tendency to degrade. And we've literally seen it happen on the boob tube. Unless you know what you're looking at, you don't realize, hey, that's a clone that's degrading. Um, Hence why at one moment he's all blah 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 blah. Next moment he's da 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 da. Because they got a new one put in. Even Disney's talk about that they make clones for their shows. Their actors are clones. Their performers are clones. There was a deal out on that for a long time, but they don't
yeah,
last long. They degrade. They're not stable yet.
yeah,
So, but I mean, you also got to worry
yeah,
about other stuff. You just talk about holograms. That's another one. We've literally seen that glitch out on the boob tube too. And then you got this what they're going to call an alien attack, which is one of the things that I keep saying is a fake alien invasion. That's all going to be done by hologram too, but it's the way to get people to go indoors so they can get control. Yeah, Candy, that's a good point.
yeah. Well, the same thing with people seeing the double sun and double moons during the
Hmm.
eclipse and even after the eclipse. Um, they're definitely trying to cover up something, but what it
Yeah,
is and to what extent, we don't really know.
no.
But DTA, don't trust anyone.
Hmm.
That's just something to live by, folks, especially nowadays. Um, unless you know the people very, very well, um, people's psyche can change in an instant. Um, you got you've got so many people, so many prominent people in television and the music industry, movie industries, politics, and royal families that are literally all related to each other. It's almost creepy to know that they were all related to each other. So maybe we are just the drones, the clones to continue serving the elitist, but I'm certainly not coming back. Once I go, I'm gone. I'm gone. Bye bye, baby. I'm not coming back to this world. So I'll see you all in the next. But I'm definitely not coming back to this world. They say that when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, when you pass, that not to go into the light, that you turn around and you're given a choice. You can either go into the light and come back out of the infinite, sacred feminine female, which is the womb where the light is, or you can turn around and look at the glorious universe behind you and go back to where you came from spiritually, and be on that plane of existence. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to come back.
Hell, if I'm a clone, they better give me a better body next time. This one here is a little used up.
Why, you don't like Fluffy? You don't like Fluffy?
Oh, come on. Mine's a little used up. Mine is definitely used up. Dude, make up your mind, little dude. Up or down, buddy. We can't have this both ways. Sorry, Snow is being weird at the moment. He can't make up his mind if he wants to be in my lap or not. Yeah, Don. Yeah, I kind of used and abused mine a little too much. So, but no, there's a lot of sorry. There's a lot of stuff going on behind closed doors, and that's what I love about this show and the research you do, because you dig into it. Perfect name, Red Rabbit Hole, man, because that's all this is a rabbit hole. Nonstop, just bam bam. When you think you find one room and you think you got it all clear, you find a hidden door to another spot that leads you to a whole nother damn section of it.
And then you got to find the connection too, because it's all connected. It is all connected. Some way or another, this is all connected.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have to figure it out. So
yeah. Well, and the truth is coming out about the stuff every single day. It really is, which is part of when the pantomime's over and the new age comes in, is part of it before it's over, is stuff's coming out for everybody to see. And I'm laughing because I'm seeing that every day. Yep. More and more stuff is coming out. I've heard going on into the light was a ploy by them to keep humans enslaved. Yeah, that's kind of what William was talking about, Candy. Yeah, that seems to be a very common thing, and I'm hearing that a lot. One of the interesting people that I follow on YouTube, and I forgot his name off the top of my head, Dr. Oh my gosh, I got to look it up. All right, Freaky. Can't remember. It's not on this one. Let me open up a screen over here. He's man. He does a lot with and he wants some information. This dude is, the people he brings on, the stuff he talks about is pretty daggone top notch stuff. I gotta get on the right account here. Dr. Cesara, I think is how you say it. Cezola. Man, I can't remember. It's a weird name, but he is very, very good. Very, very informational guy. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. I know I haven't had a chance to hit his latest show. Michael Salla, Salla. He is, you want to hear some guy talk about some interesting stuff? That dude is really good. Hi, Ida. Michael Salla, Salla. Very, very good. Holy cow. Very, very good guy. Um, and he talks about a lot of stuff we're talking about, but he brings in like the reptilians, the aliens, and stuff like that. He brings that into context with a lot of things that, and I need to get caught up on his stuff. I've not been on the internet a whole lot here lately. Yeah, no kidding, Corey. I'm kind of kicking the
I
same
just had
thing,
to,
but I'm
I just had the craziest, I just had the craziest thing happen.
what's that?
I just had the craziest thing happen. A shadow ran underneath my feet. I've got my feet propped on this thing about maybe
Mm,
2 feet off the ground in front of the chair here. Bare feet, so I can feel everything, you know. And
mm-hmm.
this black shadow just went underneath my feet, about the size of a cat, and
Hmm.
I felt it brush against the bottom of my feet when it walked past. And that's why I looked down. I looked down to see if maybe there was a cat in here or something. And now we have outside cats we take care of, but not an inside one. So
Yeah, I mean,
that
could
was
be a
very,
pet.
very weird. And I actually felt the fur.
You know how many times that's happened? I mean, that happens a lot. If you actually stop and think about it, I mean, how many times as you could have swore something just ran past you, but nothing was there, and you could feel like the fur or the scales or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens. Maybe I'm different. I mean, but that really, to me, that happens a lot. Or I could have swore something came at me, and I
Yeah.
look up and there's
No, it
nothing there.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's literally
I often
nothing,
wonder.
nothing there.
I've often wondered, is that like my past animals that I've had, and they're just coming to say hi because they missed me, or is that something else? Yeah, it's hard to say. Sometimes I
That
don't think
could
it's
be.
animals. Sometimes I think it's something else. I don't believe the light is a ploy. Long story, but the spiritual redemption work we do says otherwise. You have a free will and don't have to come back once you go into the light. That is possible, Kathleen. I mean, that I can't dispute that. But I've seen quite a bit of evidence to suggest that we are remanufactured in a way, I guess you can say. I mean, none of us is really going to know till that moment comes. I hate to say it, but you know, when I did a show on
Yeah.
ghost, I posed a theory to everybody, and this is one of the things that the King James version and me don't get along with. You know, when someone dies, they tell you they go straight to heaven or go straight to hell.
I'm telling you, get the
But then later
Ethiopian
on,
Bible.
yeah, later on, it tells you that when Jesus comes and God brings his children to the kingdom of heaven, the dead shall rise before the living. So if you die and you go straight to heaven right off the bat or straight to hell, how is it the dead will rise before the living?
Hmm.
I've always wondered that. For me, that makes sense that we don't rise straight to heaven or hell. Could be in a spirit be a form of purgatory, a way to fix the wrongs that you've done to give you a chance to go to heaven. It's quite possible. I mean, you can't deny ghosts. Ghosts are we see ghosts every single day. Ghosts are around us every single day. Some people can see them, some people can't. Um, oh yeah, Don, that happens quite
If
often.
you want to see a
But
lot
I
of
mean,
them, come here.
yeah. So I mean, I always pose that question to everybody because that's something that I've often thought on, and it really makes a lot more sense than what you read in the King James. I'd love to get my hands on the Ethiopian Bible. Oh man, I'd love to get my hands on that. Yeah, there is. There's
Yeah,
lots
I
of it.
think that's the.
Mm. They overbuilt. Yeah, I mean,
Well, the Bible
I don't
too.
know.
I mean, do you really think that the Bible isn't a legitimate book? I mean, there's several books. I mean, they left several things out of it. So yes, it's incomplete. To
Yeah,
me, if you're going to give the human populace a knowledge of something, especially their God, then why not leave all the books in there and let the people decide? You know,
yep,
they assume again, they assume that we all are a bunch of babbling idiots. Okay,
yep,
but yet we're good enough to fight
yep,
their wars for them. You know,
yeah. Yes, it does, Corey. So that's the thing, and I'm going to hurt some people's feelers. I hurt your feelers. I apologize. I'm sorry. Well, no. I mean, it's just that it's just the truth. The King James version, I am not a fan of. I am not a fan of the King James version for several things, just like what William talked about. That leaves several books out. I mean, I've shown that in my shows how it's different from the Torah, which is supposedly where the King James Bible came from, um, and what the King James version is. Not only that, William has pointed this out several times on his show, where, like in the Torah, where instead of saying God, it says Yahweh. Instead of Jesus, it says Yeshua. They leave stuff out. They take stuff out. So when it comes to King James, did I grow up on
well,
the King
there's
James? I grew up
yeah,
on it.
they yeah, they took out the word, they took out the name of
Hmm.
God over 2,600 times in the Bible.
Hmm.
Okay, and they replaced it with the word Lord. Okay, now the word Lord, who's the Lord of the world, who's the prince of this world? Jesus Christ
Hmm.
told Lucifer himself, "You are not only the prince of this world, you
Hmm.
are the God and Lord of this world." So, you know,
Yeah.
got to be careful who we pray to, everybody. That's for sure. That's
Yeah.
why I call them by name. You know,
Yeah. Roxanne, they weren't the first, but they're probably the closest tied to the original apostles. The Ethiopians are. The term Christian is actually the term Christian means to be Christ-like. Back in them days, it wasn't Christians; it was just followers of Christ, which became Christians. Um, the Ethiopians are probably the closest related or closest to the actual way it was during the times of Yeshua than what we know. So, but that's to say Christian is a variety, a very very large thing. But the actual term of it is to be Christ-like. So, if you want to be a Christian, that's what you're striving to be. Now, you can never be like Christ, but and he'll tell you that, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. It Christ encourages you to, but people seem to forget several things. Christ was even succumbed to anger. Christ also drank fermented fruit. Christ done a lot of things, but people want to leave that out. And what's sad is so many people are brainwashed and thinking that, oh, God has many names. Well, yeah, God has many names, but the true name of God is Yahweh. And they brainwash us into thinking, no, we don't know what his true name is. Well, yeah, we do. He gave it to us. We don't
yeah.
know what he looks
Well,
like.
you know,
Yeah, we do. He said
the
it.
Ethiopian, yeah, the Ethiopian Bible, the it not only has the Book of Enoch in it, it has the Book of Jubilee.
Mhm.
So it has all these other different books, and I believe it also has the Book of Giants in it.
Yep.
So that's what makes it interesting. It has several books in it that the back at 375 AD, when they came together to take certain books out of it to leave a certain element. People that believed in the books in the Bible time, basically it dwindled at their faith, and it gave them more reasons to doubt the book, because people that read the Bible, you can almost tell that it's an incomplete book by the way that it's, put together. Okay. So you need those extra, books in the Bible, the book of Jubilee, the book of Isaiah, the book of Judas, the book of Giants, the book of Enoch, there's so many of them, the book of Thomas, so many of them, that they left out.
Well, and it's funny, the book of Jubilee, that kind of plays a very important thing for you and I, for what fraternity we're in. And that's why I laugh when people say that we're a demonic cult trying to take over the world. Yeah. Bull crap.
Yeah. I got enough of my own problems. I got enough of my own problems. Right now, I'm sitting here in the chair, and I'm looking at my wheelchair, and I'm thinking to myself, it's getting worse and worse as days go by. And there's not going to be no time whatsoever that I'm probably going to be in that thing full time. And I'm really hoping and praying I'm not. But if anybody knows how to get a wheelchair van on a disability income, please let me know. Because I just, I don't have any other way to get around now. So, it is what it is. I've come to learn to just, I don't know. A lot of people might think that I'm just kind of nonchalant about it, as far as not worrying about it. But, when we've gone through so much, and you know that you can do more, and you're limited in being able to cart yourself around, if you know what I mean. It gets to you after a while.
I'm getting a kick out of Freaky and Ryan right now. Their comments. Oh man. Yeah, it's I hope you don't go down that route, bro. I really don't. I still believe in the power of life and death in the tongue, and the power of healing in the tongue. And I believe that, this is just a passing, and you're gonna deal with it, and you're gonna be better. I'm hoping for that. So
I guess I should tell you the vision I had too today. I kind of took a cat nap this afternoon, or actually most of the day, because I'm up at night for some reason. And I felt this overwhelmingly presence of almost like an angelic feeling. Okay. And I had something put in my thought in my head, a picture in my head, and it was Yeshua walking towards me. And I don't know what happened, but hopefully it was good. But I know just from what's happening to me lately, physically wise, is taking its toll. I'm literally ready to go. I almost look forward to it. But that's just, that's just me. But yeah, I mean, if anybody knows any way to or any churches out there that could, I don't know, See, they have this program here in this area called Cars for Caring, and it's a nonprofit group that if you have a church that you can have basically put your name in, they will help you find transportation, especially if you're disabled.
Mhm.
So I've already talked to them, and I've already and Tracy and I have already talked to quite a few different places, a lot of churches and stuff, and just can't seem to get it together here. Because you know as well as I do that most churches nowadays, they are taxed beyond belief right now with trying to help out everybody, and you know it is something that I'm just going to have to deal with on my own and try to figure out what to do. So
Mhm.
I'm still going to do investigations. I'm still doing my native ceremonies to bless people and to fend off certain entities, supernatural things. Um, in fact, I work at that, and it's weird too because, and not to stay on this subject, it's weird that even now when I talk about it, the fact of the matter is, the closer I get to crossing over into the spirit world, um, the stronger I seem to get spiritually. Um, it's very weird, very weird.
Look what Ryan's telling you. Oh my God, I needed that laugh today, Ryan. Thank you, buddy. I really needed that. For those of you who don't know, I did a short live earlier. It's only live I'm going to do this weekend. It's kind of about Memorial Day, and this is kind of a rough weekend for me. So after that, man, I needed laughs like that right there, Ryan. I appreciate it. Oh man, that's right. Because we need you to
Yeah.
keep us in check, bro. We need you to keep
Oh,
us in
yeah.
check.
Oh, I don't know if
Oh,
I'm going to be capable of doing that, especially with Ryan. He's been getting himself in trouble lately a lot.
oh, Ryan would
He's
never
probably
get in
the kind of kid
trouble.
that got in trouble at school all the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was the kind of kid in school that always got in trouble, that played the practical jokes, and basically basically sat outside the principal's office for several times. So I guarantee it.
I can't say much on that. I may or
Freaky's
may
probably
not
the
have been
same
a
way.
part of that. Yeah, I may or may not have partaked a few
Yeah,
things during school
Kathleen,
time
I,
that I
I
shouldn't have.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a certain Kathleen that I missed a birthday wish for this past week. So happy belated birthday, Kathleen.
Oh, is Kathleen's
I
birthday?
appreciate you. You actually are wanting to help. I appreciate that so much because it's not easy anymore. Um, to be honest with everybody, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do these shows. I really don't. Um, I'm getting to the point where I just don't have it in me anymore. Just don't have the strength in me to keep on going. So, anyways,
And
let's change the
I
subject. Go back to the Denver International Airport thing. So,
yeah. It's yeah, there's a lot of strange stuff going on there, but I mean, it's not just a Denver National Airport, folks. I mean, there's strange stuff all over the world that's going on. It's very similar to what's going on in Denver National Airport. There is, I mean, I said one earlier, the Springfield Underground has a lot to do with that as well. Um, freaky. But I mean, hell, Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City's the same way. I mean, and all this, what you guys don't realize is all the railway systems throughout the United States is tied together to all these places. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Candy. Um,
Here you go, freaky.
but I mean, they're all, yeah. I need to get me a dinosaur outfit.
That's an actual
But
picture.
that one is a real one, Velociraptor.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say.
Interesting.
The picture was taken from somebody driving down the road and saw it cross in front of them.
What I do find interesting about it, look at the shadows on that coming off of it. I mean, if this is AI, that's really good AI with the shine off the off the skin, from the sun, the shadows. It all lines up really dang well. If it's AI, that's good AI.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, that was taken after AI was initiated, as far as I know. Was taken
Huh?
prior to AI being
Oh,
released.
was it?
That photograph is like 4 years old or something like that. Yeah, it's like 4 years old. I mean, it could be
Huh.
CGI, but if it is,
Yeah.
if somebody's really good at it, so
Camel Dad, we all were as Gen Xers. We either was A in prison, B in the military, or C both. That's
no.
that is more likely a Dino-Chos. Velociraptors were actually small. That's what I'm wondering. I mean, it's the head was what kind of threw me off, but it had the claw that the Velociraptor had. Ryan, that's what I found interesting. I'll have to look up that Dino-Chos or however you say that. I'll have to look that up. I'm not familiar with that one. Of all the dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, their raptors were the scariest, and I don't want them to be one. Yeah, and there's a lot of dinosaurs. The baby brontosauruses that people are putting out there. They're putting the camera backwards, and all this is like freaking monkeys or lemurs that's walking. They do look like baby brontosauruses, but that's what they are.
Yeah.
Um,
Ryan
raptors
was
have.
actually the little kid inside in the Jurassic Park 3 movie. He was that little kid playing in the sandbox with the dinosaurs when the dinosaur man called on the phone.
Yeah.
That was Ryan. He
Yeah.
was in the sandbox playing with the dinosaurs.
Yeah. At least he wasn't eating the hidden Hershey Kisses. No, I mean that's a pretty interesting pick, though, honestly, because unlike a lot of CGI and AI stuff, that one really does match up pretty accurately. I mean, that's a cool pick. A lot of them I gaff. I'm like, no, dude, that ain't a dinosaur. But that one there's. Well, I mean, look at the Congo, the river monster, the Congo river monster. It's a what is that dinosaur? It's that one with the long neck. It's got the spikes down the back, but it's not a brontosaurus. It's a lot smaller. They had the claws on the front. Huh?
Super. What does it say? Super. Oh man.
Yeah, I was talking about that, Ryan, but it's the actual
snout.
dinosaur. Um, I'm gonna have to look that up now. It's gonna bug the hell out of me.
Killing me. Yeah, see, I knew it. But Ryan, you gotta see Roxanne's comment there. You know, she said that little kid was too cute to be you. No, she didn't. She didn't say that. She just said that little kid was cute. I'll never forget the first time that I had the pleasure of talking to Ryan. He actually hid his identity from me. All it was this picture of some cryptid.
I'm looking at the pictures, and yeah, it's the Mokele Mimbe, but I'm actually looking for the name of the dinosaur, and it's not giving it to me. It keeps giving me the river monster version, but I want what they call that dinosaur. It's like a Arapasaurus or Sophor. I'm not Latin. Yeah, I'm American. Um, I left a word out. That might be why it's not giving me what I want. He's trying to be slick. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, Abbott, how's it going?
That's, Yolanda, that's funny that you say that about the little people. Because I interact with little people all the time. And there's one thing that people got to understand, that when you're dealing with the supernatural, and that's what some of these little people are, they're more supernatural or interdimensional than anything, like an elemental.
Mm-hmm.
The more you see them, and the more you talk to them, or you let them know that you won't harm them, the more that those little people are going to help you out. So, like anything in the universe, you put out good things, and only good things will come back. So keep that in mind. But I did have one friend of mine tell me that him and his um, cohort were doing an investigation in it was Yosemite. They were doing an investigation in Yosemite National Park, and they came time fire, and they slept in their sleeping bags outside the tent next to the fire. Because they had a nice big roaring fire. And he looked over. Something woke him up at like 3 o'clock in the morning or so, and he looked over at his buddy, and his buddy the sleeping bag was lifted up off the ground a couple inches and moving towards the woods. And he said he looked underneath the sleeping bag, and he saw all these little figures picking the guy up in a sleeping bag to carry him off.
Mm-hmm.
The guy woke up when they just got to the edge of the woods, maybe 20 feet from where his sleeping bag was laying. And he woke up and he started screaming. And next thing you know, all these little figures ran every which way into the woods. So, and that's a true story. So, little people are real. Little people are real. Okay. Some of them aren't little people. Some of them are little elementals. And that's the difference.
Yeah. Well, and that, by the way, Allosaur. I think it was called an Allosaur. I was trying to remember, and I just popped in my head Allosaur. But it's funny. I was talking about one time. Some people talk about how they see orbs with Bigfoot. But I've never experienced that myself personally. I've seen orbs. Now, usually orbs was dealing with paranormal, But the one that was very interesting for me happened when I was younger. And out in these woods, we used to play hide and go seek till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning out here. We went through the woods all the time out here. But I actually one time
Mhm.
had an orb. I mean, it was a decent sized orb shoot from the woods right at my chest to the point. I mean, I was at a dead run. I was trying to run for my brother and not get tagged. And that thing came right at me to the point where I went like that and slid backwards on my butt and slid across the ground. Well, thing shot above my head and then went straight up. There's a lot of the Fey folk that is
Hmm.
known to be orb shaped, also elementals, and that's kind of where I lean on that with that. And it's not far fetched to think of it that way. So you got to think about it when it comes to little people. I mean, there's some Fey that's little too. You know, the not the Dowie, the
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but there's some people that are orb shaped.
yeah, I'm fluffy. Come on, baby. I'm round like a flat football.
Oh,
Oh man. But are the cannibals? Oh, here's Ida's got a question for us. Are cannibals the little people? Not all. Some I believe are, but I could be wrong. William will probably
yeah,
know more about that.
yeah. The little people. I mean, there's several different types of little people. You've got wedgies. You've got what Ryan just said, um, and
Mm,
you have a lot of different elementals that are small. The more of the environment elementals, like the grasses or the trees, and stuff like that.
mm,
They even say that the walking sticks, that there's a bug out there called a walking stick. They look just like a stick, but it's walking. They're pretty
they're
cool,
freaking cool.
but they even say that those are elementals too, to a point
Hmm.
that they can supernaturally shift and walk on two legs. Just and ironically, the things that the guy saw underneath the sleeping bag looked like walking sticks, but they were jet black. So, and the ones that I see, and I see them quite a bit. I mean, they range from that tall to 2 feet
Hmm.
tall. So I mean, there's all different types of them. A
Yeah.
lot of the little people will be around boulders, especially granite boulders,
Hmm.
because of the crystal content, and around water. So they
Yeah.
they do like that, and they like trees. If you're ever camping and your camp's surrounded by trees, you're gonna be messed with in the middle of the night while you sleep. Trust me. So
Yeah.
best
I've
way to
showed that
deal with
picture of
little
the.
people, yeah, best way to
Go ahead.
deal with
Sorry.
little people is always take an offering to them, um, and all the elementals, when you go out camping.
Mm,
Whether it's a little bit of tobacco, whether it's a piece of cloth about 2 inches by 2 inches, or a piece of buckskin 3 inches by 3 inches, something that they would appreciate. Because some of these beings will find uses for those. It's kind of along the same concept of how in Ireland they build the little houses and stuff for the fairies. Okay, because the
mhm.
fairies live amongst the forest over in Ireland, and they build these little houses, and they put them out there for the fairies to live in. So, kind of the same thing. Okay, so
Yeah, I mean, like I've showed a picture on my show before about my possible dryad tree, which dryad is a fairy or fae, however you want to put it. Um, Fairies are in that fae class, um, and usually, if you got a tree with looks like something like a face on it, they're said that is where a dryad fairy lives, and I've had that. Elementals there's a lot to suggest that the fairies are in that elemental class. I'd say a good portion of them are. Dryads are probably one of those. Uh, Diva, Deva, Diva. I think they are probably, and possibly even the pixie style, are in that class.
Well,
Now
even
the
leprechauns are
divas are,
elementals.
yeah. Well, I mean, and it depends on where you're from. Like, my ancestors will tell you elves are a different race from a different realm. But you get over there to Ireland and places like that, and they'll tell you elves are also fairies. They're part of the fae folk. It really just depends on where you're from. Um, we have a question there. I just
Mhm.
seen. Oh, there it is. It's up.
Yeah, I
Okay. Can you explain the difference between
see.
elementals and
Can you
dimension?
explain the difference between elementals and dimensional beings?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Elementals are a being or an entity that are born from this world, that they are born and actually a spiritual part of the environment. Okay. Whether it's water, air, dirt, the ground, the trees, whatever it is, earth, wind, fire, and water, are the basic elements, and they come forth from that. Okay. You have tree elementals. You have elementals that represent, like, even the wildlife has an elemental. I forget. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember what they call it. A wanaj. When I think they call it the wanaji. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the wanaji, I believe, is what they call it. And then you have, like, the pugwajis, which are kind of just of a spiritual, little people that are like, they're kind of like gremlins. The movie Gremlins. I mean, they're kind of like the bad gremlins. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of elementals they are. And it's just, different tribal affiliations will have different um, basic understanding about elementals too. So not every
Mm-hmm.
tribal group out there is going to have the same exact identity for certain things. The basic identity is the same, but they get, the details will change from, say, the Southwest people to the Northeast people, or the potlatch community. Um, but even in some native lore, they're the Sasquatch is an elemental in some of them. Um, it's it's it just depends, like Eric said, where you're located at geographically. But interdimensional beings. Now, when you're talking interdimensional beings, you're talking straight supernatural. Okay, solid supernatural. Um, you know how a lot of people call the veil, the veil is thin. Okay, well, see, there's not really a veil. Okay, it's like a holding area from changing from one dimension to the other. Okay, like from our dimension, our 3D world, to go to the 4D world. You're going to pass through an area in between the dimensions that they call the veil, but it's more like walking through a waterfall. Okay, it's like a sheet of water falling down on both sides, entering and exiting the veil. Okay, that is where a lot of interdimensional beings come from, is from
Ooh.
the veil. Okay, because they're trapped in there. Okay, they are at a point where, oh, CERN has
Yeah.
definitely broken the veil. In fact,
Oh yeah.
I'm not even
Mm-mm.
sure we're in the same universe for that matter. Um,
Mm-mm.
Let me see here. What's Ryan saying?
Yeah, the Raven Mocker, man. To me, that's something
Well, the
supernatural.
Raven Mocker, the Raven Mocker is, that's an old legend. And it's said to have mystical abilities too. Ryan, you know that. Um, the Raven Mocker can make you forget your own name. I mean, that's how in tune supernaturally the Raven Mocker is. Um, the Raven Mocker is described as a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot, but I
Mm-hmm.
believe that it's more like the elemental type of Bigfoot than the physical flesh and bone type of a
Mm-hmm.
being, because they can go from the gray area, the people call it the veiled, people call it the upside down world. If you've all ever seen that television series on Netflix, with the kids and stuff, um, that's basically what I'm talking about. Is that negative area in between the dimensions? That's where a lot of these beings come from. That's where your shadow beings come from. You know,
Yep.
your shadow beings. I mean, they're interdimensional. They come from through the veil into our world, and it's sheer curiosity is all it is. I
Mm-hmm.
know everybody says, "Oh, the Hat Man, the red-eyed Hat Man, he's so evil," and da 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 da. Just because something messes with you doesn't automatically make it evil. Okay, sometimes these things mess with us because we are meant to learn something. Okay, we are meant to try and understand something about our world so we can move on to the next level. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
um how do I want to say, I got to be careful how I say this. um we are put here imperfect objects in this world. Mankind is put here, okay, from birth to death. We are given a guideline to go by. But as
Mm-hmm.
children, if our adult guardians don't follow that guideline to teach us the right ways, then we're destined to repeat it over and over again until we learn on ourselves, or by a responsible guardian adult that will teach us. Um, the imperfections of mankind are that we are quick to judge. We're quick to judge. We're quick to go to war. Okay, we're quick to fight. We're quick to talk badly about people behind their backs. We're quick to blame people for our own shortcomings. Um, there's so many things that we are imperfect about, but yet we are made in our Creator's image. Okay,
Yep.
so we are giving a divine pass on a lot of it. Okay, on a lot of it. Okay, but we are meant to learn as much as we can from this world and interacting within it to move on. Okay, um, take it from somebody who's seen death several times. Um, I shouldn't even be here. Technically, I shouldn't even be here. It's a miracle that I have lived as long as I have. Okay, it's a literal miracle. Okay, that I survived what I've gone through, um, and I'm still able to talk and be coherent and breathe. Powers that be in our world today. I've said this 100 times. The powers that be in the world today want us to be kept dumbed down. Okay, they don't want us to learn what kind of abilities that we have, and we have such a powerful ability inside us. We have the power of Christ inside us, actually. Um, that warm feeling you get in your hands when you hold them 4 inches apart, and you can feel the energy passing to and from your palms and how warm it feels. That's your energy. Okay. Whatever you do to yourself, you do to your energy. Okay. If you go around being depressed all the time, your energy is going to be shot. You're not going to have it. Okay. If you go around being positive, you're going to have a very, very big energy field. And it's just going to grow. With that, we're supposed to learn and use every sense that we have in this world. Okay. And that's why I tell everybody question everything, because you have to. Okay. We're put here for a purpose to learn. Okay. And if you don't want to come back and recycle through the soul recycler again, then learn as much as you can. Okay. To the next level. Don't be afraid to stand in faith and learn things. Yeah, I mean, things come from the veil, from the gray area, the upside down world all the time. Um, some good, some bad. Picture one that's bad. So I'll put it up here for a second, and then I'll put some pictures of some of the elementals too that I've got pictures of. Now you all know this as a Dementor from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Okay. This is actually something that Native people have talked about for the longest time. Now, you take that photograph and you remember what that looks like, okay? And I'm going to show you the Native American representation from that. You see what I mean?
Wow.
These are shadow beings that live amongst us, okay? These shadow beings I see quite a bit. These shadow beings can travel in and out of dimensions, from the next dimension above ours. These shadow beings are literally, some are hundreds of tall, others are 60 to 50 feet tall. They come here because they basically, you know how a bloodhound can smell, a predator that they're hunting down, like a big cat. Well, these things have the same ability, but it's more of a knowing, not a scent, not like smelling the air, or tasting the air. It's more of a sense of just knowing that somebody is getting close to crossing over, and these beings will come out, and they are just like that picture. They are the exact same thing as this. The exact same thing, except this one has just come through the veil and is in flight. Okay. When they're not flying, they look like what I showed you. So now the same area that these things come from, this comes from, and I'm sure you all know what this is.
Ooh.
This is a fallen. This is also known as Mothman sometimes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that is connected to an angelic spirit. Okay. Now, what I mean by an angelic spirit doesn't mean that it's an angel anymore. Okay. Because the Watchers were cast out. Okay. They
Mm-hmm.
were cast out of God's kingdom and thrown into the fiery abyss. Okay. That's why a lot of tragedy happens whenever this thing is seen. Okay. This thing is more spiritual than it is, than it is physical. It's more supernatural than it is physical. You will find a lot of the times when people interact with the Mothman, they say that 1 minute it's there and the next minute it's gone because it blips out. Okay. It literally has the ability to go between dimensions. Okay. That's what this thing does. Okay. And that's the same thing with what we call the Dementors that I showed you earlier. They're the same type of a being, except Mothman doesn't actually make the death happen. Okay. Those flying black things that I showed you and the things that walk like this can make death happen. Okay. They have the ability to make death happen. Mothman, being related to an angelic being, is more of a bloodhound type. He can sniff out tragedy when it's going to happen. Okay. And I know this from being able to cross over myself. I do a lot of the ceremonies. Ryan knows that. Eric knows that. Dennis knows that. Gerald knows that. Jessica knows. I do a lot of Native American ceremony that gives me the ability to look in that area. Okay, to look within the veil in that gray area and even into the next dimension. Um, that's just something that was given to me at a very young age when I died. Um, the first time I died when I was 3.5 years old. Um, that's just a certain ability I've been given. And I've learned to, the closer I get to death, the stronger my abilities get. And I can tell you for a fact that Mothman is, a lot of people think he's a malevolent being. And, but I think given a, I think that he's given a bad rap because he always has the ability to sniff out tragedy. Okay. Um, so, we can't label him as a cryptid because he's more supernatural in nature. I think a lot of people are getting things confused when it comes to Mothman too. And some of the alien beings that they're talking about nowadays. Some of the alien beings are even interdimensional. They're not from this timeline. They're not from this world. Um, some of them are. Some of the beings, like well, you have the certain reptilian beings, okay, that were the original inhabitants of the earth, um, where we came down and basically made them go underground. Um, Lucky us. Now we don't know where they're at or how many there are. And it's going to come a day they're going to want the world back. Okay. I'm just saying that because it's true. Okay. It is true. They are going to want the world back one of these days. And there ain't a whole hell of a lot mankind can do about it because they've infiltrated every aspect of our government, of our military, everything, of big industry. Um, You know, otherwise, why wouldn't we have things like, well, you know, we have the Black Pyramids. You know, they talk about the Black Pyramids all the time around the world, that are found under the ground. Okay. And we have Black Rock. Black Rock, Black Pyramid. Okay. There's a connection. Okay. You have CERN also in Geneva, Switzerland. That's a connection to a lot of these beings and being responsible for opening up a lot of these portals, okay, to these other realms and giving these beings the opportunity to come through. To the point now, everybody's seeing stuff. And you know, you don't have to go very far to know somebody that says they saw a demon face. You know, now they're calling it a disease
Disorder.
or a syndrome. You know, I'm sorry. Yeah, demon face is not a disorder or a sin. You know, or a medical problem. It's not. It's just you guys are seeing the veil for what it is. Okay, that's all it is. So, anyways, I'm getting a little short-winded, and it's been almost 2 hours. Um, I don't think it's like remote viewing. Remote viewing is something that Jessica can do very well. And you know, I'm not claiming to be a remote viewer. I claim I have the ability to see other realms, um, just like an empath pick up on feelings. Okay, yeah, you're getting messed with, aren't you?
Yeah, there's something real heavy over here. I'm trying to capture. I put my
Mm-hmm.
medicine bag on. Something really heavy. It's sending chills like way down me. Did you
Yeah.
hear that?
Well, every time I bring up the subject of death and all that, yeah, every time I
I
bring
just
up the
got a little
subject of
figure.
death and all that that we're talking about, it something always happens. I can see what you're talking about. It's right there by the back of the Bigfoot on the wall hanging you've got there by the back side of the Bigfoot. It just shifted. It just went from that wall hanging further into the corner.
Huh. I had a little figure popped up on here for a second. That's why I grabbed my medicine bag. That's why I did. I didn't mean to be rude, but man, I felt that thing back in there. That's why I kept watching there. I just had that feeling I need to grab that and put that close to me right now.
Yeah. Ida, the thing with the beings like that is you don't have to be good or bad or evil or you know righteous to be taken like that. They're more of fate's answer to having a way for people to cross over. And I'm not saying they're going to be there every time somebody dies and take them by their arms and lead them to heaven's gate. You know, that's not what I'm saying. Um, but when spirit crosses over, sometimes they get confused, and these dark entities will come in and use that confusion to misguide spirit. Okay, that's pretty much what it is. Um, there's a lot of them because a lot of people die every day. Um, you see them around traffic accidents a lot. people have taken pictures of them because they work in the same manner as angelic beings, guardian angels do. They're in that same genre, okay, of entity. They literally do basically the same thing. It's kind of hard to explain unless you actually see it for yourself or experience it for yourself for the first time. Some of you are going to get those abilities in this chat. Some of you, Candy, Corey, those abilities are going to grow exponentially over the next several months. I can see that happening. Okay. The will-o-wisp, well, willow being the sacred, one of the most sacred things for Native people to have in their lives. Wisps are
You need to leave.
are
You're not welcome
spirits
here.
of.
Go. This is my home. You're not welcome. You need to leave
Not
now.
going yet.
Nope. He's fighting. You need to leave. You are not welcome here. You need to go. This is not your place. I have the power in this home. In the name of Yahweh, I command you to leave this place now. Be gone. Return to wherever it is you come from. You are not welcome here. Sorry, guys.
Stubborn.
Yeah, he was. He's gone now. I can feel it decreasing. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just had that feeling I needed to do that right then and there because it kept getting stronger and stronger.
All right. Well, Corey, I'll email you just so you know. I'll email you, Corey. Um, just send whatever questions you have to my email, lakotaman333 at gmail.com. And I'll try to answer everybody's questions that didn't get answered tonight. But I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm about ready to pass out. So everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, everybody. I appreciate everybody in the chat. If you can, like, heart, share this out. It started out as a conspiracy theory, but we ended up talking more about the supernatural than anything, which I'm pleased with because the more I can explain to people about the supernatural and what they're going to be dealing with here in the next several weeks, if not, months, if not weeks. It's just going to get a lot for people to understand. So that's why I want to work with people and Roxanne changed her name.
Did she? Let's just change it to you.
Yeah, I will, Corey. I'll get some rest.
Oh, I misspelled it, didn't I? I'm sorry. That's what I get for having fat fingers on my freaking cell phone. I'm still kind of. It doesn't help that I'm still kind of whoop from what I just dealt with here. I don't know where the hell that thing came
Yeah,
from or why
Juno.
it did.
Juno, brother, you got to be careful because what I get from that area is not good. Anybody living around Dulce, New Mexico, get your medicine bundles together, get you some sage, get you some holy water, get you whatever you can, because something's happening. Okay, I can feel it. It's coming. Okay, something is definitely gonna happen, and it's not gonna be pleasant. So get everything you can together, Juno, to protect yourself. You know,
Yeah.
and cleanse as much as you can, whatever you interact with there, Juno, and get everybody there that you know to actually start cleansing a lot more than what they've been doing, because you guys got a lot of black negativity in that area right now. And brother, it's only going to get worse. It ain't going to get any better. Okay, so trust me when I say you got a lot of bad mojo coming in that area of Dulce, New Mexico. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyways, everybody, I want to say thank you to everybody, and we'll see everybody in the morning. Okay, at 11 a.m. Eastern, for the podcast in the morning that Eric and I do, and maybe we'll continue with this subject because it seems to be a good one, the supernatural. And everybody just take care. Love you guys very much. Thank you for being a part of the family. And let me know if you all know any ways of getting, a handicap van or a wheelchair van, or the hell, even a van that I can make into a handicap van, you know. So anything, you know. So that would help me out. So if you want to donate, you can go to my GoFundMe. Eric, if you want to tell them a little bit about your books and stuff, and then we'll close it out.
Yep. So you can I write. Damn, I don't know if you heard that. It sounded like something heavy just pressed on my house.
Yeah,
I write different genre of books.
you kicked them out of the you kicked them out of the space, but they didn't go very far.
No, I'm starting to feel them again, a little stronger than usual. I'll take care of it in a minute. Um, I write different genre books. I've got cryptid horrors that they're all historical fiction cryptid horrors. Two of the Saga Grimsons are out. Saga Grimson Book 1, The Beginning, Saga Grimson Book 2, Black Death. I have a prequel to that, which is called The Varrigan Guard, Book 1, The House of Battle, which takes place during World War II off the Allied stories of the werewolves, German werewolves. I've got a historical fiction Mountain Man series called The Doffs. You can find all my books on Amazon. If you type in e.d.testerman, you'll find my book. Click on my name, it'll take you to my author's page. And anytime I release a book, you'll be able to go there and find it. 3 out of my 5 books are available on audio. Hopefully, and the 4th one will be soon. So you can go there and find them. And then you can find me on my channels, The Bizarre and the Unknown on YouTube, which I will not be doing any shows this weekend. I'll be doing with William. That's it. I'm taking this weekend to kind of remember my fallen brothers and sisters, because that's what this
Yeah,
weekend's
I'm
about. So
taking
I won't be
Sunday
doing
for
this
that.
this weekend. Okay,
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
Sunday's just going to be a day of replays for the channel, guys. I'm giving Sunday for the Memorial Day tribute. So we lost a lot of good people and a lot of wars over the years, and one of the greatest generations of its time is almost completely gone. And that's why I'm a firm believer in that things happen every 100 years or so, with our immortals basically reinventing themselves, because certain generations die off and the newer generations won't really remember them, or it'll become like a Mandela effect, you know, that
Mhm.
type of a thing to confuse people. So,
Yeah.
anyways, thank you all very much. We love you guys very much. Stay healthy, stay strong, um, fight cancer as much as you can, and love thy neighbor like you love thyself. That's what it says in the Bible to
Mhm.
do. You know, too much negativity out there, anyways. It's about time we put out some positive vibes. So, everybody, thank you, Eric. Thank you for coming on, brother.
My pleasure. Sorry I was late again. I was watching that storm. So,
That's all right. That's all right.
but
That's all right. All right, everybody. Roxanne, Candy, Freaky, Camo Dad, Corey, Juno, uh, Starflower, Roxanne. Let's see who else we got here.
that didn't work, did it? Huh?
I don't know. I know I missed some people, but Kathleen, yep. Um, yeah, Ryan. Yeah, I don't want to forget Ryan. Godfrey,
Nick,
Ida. Yep.
I need to get with Ryan. I need to try to
Okay.
get him on
Well,
my
if
show
I
one day.
missed everybody, oh God.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to have Ryan on the show one day. but, mm,
Yeah, Corey says it right here. Yep, that's right, Corey. Find your
yep,
tribe and love them hard. Yep,
heck
exactly,
yeah.
brother. All right. Anybody have any supernatural questions? Just, you can email me at the email I told you. Or you join us tomorrow morning and we'll join the discussion again. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a great, great rest of your evening or morning. I
Heck
guess
yeah.
it's not evening
Peace, love,
anymore.
and blessings to you all.
So thank you all.